I'm a people person. I say, gosh, how can I'm a reformed geek. I mean, I'm still a geek though, but and they didn't even have a word for what I am back in those days because geek and nerd wasn't a word once upon a time.
Okay. Well,
But
yeah, you are the life of the party. Wait, I heard a saying, every party needs a pooper. That's why we invited you. Anybody ever heard that one?
Yeah, I heard of that one.
Well,
No, Eddie,
right.
you're the life of the party, brother. You could be, you can get the whole crowd going. I know it. I know. We need to see you on stage.
There's a mug with that somewhere. Got to be.
Yeah.
I've done stage work,
Hey, Stu, there's an idea.
Yep.
Which one? The life of the party or the party pooper? I like the pooper one. That's kind of fun.
Pooping word gets to me.
Well, I mean, where did I hear that from? I heard that in a movie, Father of the Bride.
Oh,
Steve
Father of the Bride.
Short. Right, and Martin Short was playing the wedding planner. He was like the designer, and Steve Martin was getting all stressed out about the cost of it all. And Martin Short said, the Martin Short character said, "Every party needs a pooper. That's why we invited you." Right, like a little song. Right. So
weddings always something exciting. If you put a wedding in a show, it's going to run itself.
Good times. Hey, we're live, everybody. In case that was not already apparent.
We're live.
Yay, hooray. Welcome to our daily success call for Thursday, the 21st of April, 2022. I'm John Lavenia. I just got off a webinar with Rachel. We got a light crowd here today. We got some other people that are in a meeting right now, but I am here with you, and I got to run back to the other room because we're handling some business, but it is good to see you all. Light crowd nonetheless. I see Stephanie from Alabama. There's Eddie, and of course, Stu. Hey, Karen, good to see you as well. And Alex here, Tracy, East, and Rhonda, good to see you all. And I don't see anybody else on camera, but that's okay. I'm gorgeous. Just stare at me. So, and Eddie, the life of the party, not a pooper at all. Anyway, good to see you guys. So what we were just talking about before we went live, had a little dialogue there with Eddie and Stephanie. And Stephanie, you've only been here a couple weeks, not quite a month. So I wanted to talk with you a little bit today about expectations and how to fulfill them and actually excel beyond them. All right. So I think that would be a nice brief topic. I got a hard stop in about, a half hour. And since it's a lighter crowd today, we may have a shorter meeting. Oh, before I get into all that, next week, I'm going to be completely out of communication, like off the grid for real, like no internet connection and sporadic cell coverage, maybe. Okay. So next week, we're kind of figuring out what do we do, the daily success call, which is of course this right here. Now you guys know the room is always open. You can come in here, play nice with each other, but I'm not going to be here. We may have somebody come and fill in, one of the staff members. I don't know what they're going to talk about. For that matter, I never know what I'm going to talk about, but still, right? So just so you guys know, keep the train moving and, just in my stead, just, host it yourselves or whatever. We'll see what happens next. Anyway, it's really weird for me too, because unlike Stephanie, I've been doing this a long time, right? I've got habits. I've got a method, right? I operate with certain strategies and I've got predictable things that occur. Right. And despite the fact that I've been on multiple meetings today and webinars and everything else, I know that this happens, starts on time, and we do that. So in my world, that's real and it's predictable and it's expected. It's expected. So here's the question for everyone. No matter how long you've been here, whether you're new or not so new, okay, what is it that you've incorporated into your daily repertoire to make it real? In other words, to make your expectations fulfilled, to actually fulfill your intention, because it's not going to be from some big heroic effort. Hey, I'm here and I put on my cape and mask and now, the universe needs to respond instantaneously. Well, that's probably not realistic expectations. Okay. When you're talking about something of significant magnitude, like starting a business, hello, right? We're not just walking down the street to the drugstore and getting a candy bar or something, right? We're doing something here. We're doing something of note. So there's going to be a bit more consistent application of intention that's involved in that. And the key word there, well, there's a few of them, but let's just focus on consistent. Okay. So why am I able to be effective at a much higher level than other people who, perhaps are newer in, this space? Well, this isn't my first rodeo. I didn't just, fall off the turnip truck yesterday, man. I've been doing this for a while, right? I know stuff, allegedly. Well, how did that happen? Not from one heroic effort. It happened from setting expectations, but then doing whatever it takes for as long as it takes to not only see the incremental improvements, but then to see the fulfillment of that which I set out to do in the first place. I'm saying all this to boil down for you a strategy. So here's the strategy. All right. So let's say you're new here and you've got a goal. In Stephanie's case, thank you for letting me lean on you a bit, Stephanie. In your case, right, I know about you, right? I've been reading what you write. I know who you are. Okay. So, right. And it's my intention too that Stephanie reaches her goals, right? I like Stephanie. I think she's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice smile and everything, right? So when I think of her, I think of her as with expectation that these are goals achieved. This isn't just hopeful, wishful thinking or whatever. Okay. Now, hopefully for her sake, she does the steps and develops the habits that are required to fulfill those expectations. So what are these little things, which don't happen overnight? Okay. But what are these little things that, in her case, that she could incorporate into her daily method of operation that will get her into resourceful habits, and not just habits of thinking, but habits of doing? All right, couple things. Well, obviously, when it comes to business operations, right, there's the design of the products, obviously, right? We were talking before we went live about the integration of the gear bubble and then technology. Now, stuff like that, yeah, that could be, a one and done heroic effort, kind of, set it up and then the machinery's running. So you don't have to develop a habit around that, but you do have to get it done. All right. So there's going to be other things that have sort of a fixed expense in terms of your time and attention attached to them. And there's other things that are, like in the business world, we could say this is a variable expense, right? So a fixed expense could be, buy the technology or, buy the machinery for the factory, right? So that's a fixed expense. A variable expense could be, how much advertising are we putting out, or how many employees are on the payroll, right? So that could vary. So yeah, we're going to have fixed expenses in terms of the things we got to set up. And once they're done, they're done. But then what are these things that you could develop habits around? So at the outset, your attention is divided into, the initial setup kind of prerequisites and the things that are going to make you money in the long range. Okay. Here's where I think a lot of people go sideways, is where they look at, here's my goal, and hopefully you've got one, right? Here's my intention for showing up. Here's the why. Okay. And now I'm learning the how-to stuff, but I still haven't achieved the why. And now it's been a week, a month, couple months, whatever. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Every goal is achievable. I mean, if it's a real goal, if it's something you really want, it's relevant and important to you, I reach every goal I set. Now, the targets along the way, I may miss targets, right? So I have this much result in this much time. That's an educated guess. And I guess, I'm fairly educated, but I don't have a crystal ball, right? But I reach every goal I set. So if we keep our eyes on the goal and then manage our expectations based on hopefully a correct estimation of effort, right? Well, all right, so I did this much work in this much time and it got me this much result. Maybe I need to raise my game here, considering, where I'm looking to go, and excel beyond these targets that I've reached or not reached up to that point. When we quantify specific actions, okay, and we compartmentalize them, we talked about organization. Was that yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday. I don't know. We talked about organizing. One of the things that we want to organize is which actions will bear fruit in the short term okay, which are gratifying now, right? Sort of like an immediate reward kind of a thing. And that could be something that, like setting up your accounts, right? So that's a done, that's a win, right? And other things are going to be more of a delayed or deferred gratification, but require consistent input to build that momentum. Now, while you're brand new here, and a lot of you are, you're going to have no momentum, right? Obviously, everybody starts at zero, right? So there's your statistic is zero. But anything, and remember compartmentalization, anything you can do to get this item off of zero, that's a one. This one's at a two, right? So these little things, and a one is infinitely better than zero, right? You got to acknowledge those things as part of what keeps you going. These little wins. If you're going to get to the top of the mountain, you've got to acknowledge each step that you take. And look, I've been guilty of not doing this, right? It's very easy to look at what I haven't accomplished yet. Any idiot can look and say, oh, wow, you haven't done it. Okay, well, how about we turn around and look at where we've been? Because look, time's going to go on with you or without you achieving your goals. I heard somebody once say, I just started this business and by the time I reach this goal based on these timelines, I'm going to be 70 years old. And my response is, well, how old will you be if you don't reach the goal? Oh, 70 years old. Okay, well, then let's just do it then. Right? I mean, time's going to go on regardless. So if you just look at, here's where I was, with no path, with no methods, nothing. And now here you are with methods. That's a win, right? Now, granted, that's just you going through course material and consuming content. Okay, so we got to balance those flows. We got to say, all right, I'm taking in this education for what use? Well, so that I can have an effect in the marketplace, right? So that I can cause things to occur out there. So then we're going to balance that, and we're going to do specific measurable activities that will indicate to us that we're going in the right direction. And then we can assess and optimize what results we've gotten so far based on the things that we've actually done, that we've actually executed. It's one thing to sit around and say, well, I'm underwhelmed with my results yet. But if you haven't done the work, well, do you really have license to, be, some people talk about the word discouraged. Well, license to be discouraged if you just got started, right? So when people get discouraged, and I noticed this for myself, guys, everything I'm telling you is not just some theory. This is for real, okay? This is for real. I've got a business project I'm working on where there's certain actions that I know I could take and I haven't taken them yet. And when I look at the statistics in that project, I'm like, man, damn it. Okay, so why am I getting all emotional about that? Because I didn't do what I said I was supposed to do. Now, if you know that your integrity's in, you're good, man. I'm knocking it out. You know what? And every step I take, I think of a couple other things that I can do. Trim the fat over here, beef that up over there, right? You can't steer a parked car. Well, if I've been parked, I've got no license to sit around and gripe about my crappy results because I just didn't do it. Now, most people underestimate the effort that it would take to get to a goal. Okay, they underestimate that, and I'm not saying it has to be hard work. Okay, you need to work harder. But what I'm saying is, when I say underestimate, I'm saying they don't consider what else is in the mix. So here's the work of actually creating designs and stuff. But also in the mix with that is, here are all your thoughts about it, and all your considerations, and all your indecisions, and all your maybes, and all the other crap that causes you emotional going sideways and here and there, and looking at the stats. Oh, it didn't happen yet, right? All of that stuff adds to the work. So there's two things you could do. One is you can get totally objective about it. In other words, not attached. Like, I don't give a damn. I'm just going to go ahead and create 20 products today, 20 listings. All right. And talking in terms of print on demand e-commerce. That's it. Win, lose, or draw. I don't care. My integrity's in. I'm good. I did the work with no attachment to the outcome. That's one thing you could do. Or you can add to your expectations. And I'm going to, here's what I'm going to do. Since I'm not 100% objective, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that work. And I'm also going to work twice as hard on myself as I do on my business. As Jim Rohn said, the late Jim Rohn, work twice as hard on yourself as you do on your business, because I know I got stinking thinking. I know that I'm going to go sideways in all these other different directions. Because look, after all, my best thinking up to this point got me this far, but not further. So something's going on in here. Let me read some books. What were those books that Italian guy, John Lavenia, he was saying to read the books? Oh, The Power of Consistency by Weldon Long. How many of you are into that book right now? If you haven't read it yet, crack it open. Here's a guy who was 13 years in prison, convict, turned his whole life around by just applying some resourceful principles, which he got from Steve Covey, the guy who wrote 7 Habits. Anyway, read the book, right? And then he went on and free man and, running successful business, millions of dollars, blah, 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 right? Read that. What did he do? He got consistent about something. He invested in himself while in prison, by the way. Okay. It's 7 more years to go to sit there and think about who's going to be getting free here in 7 years, and how and what will he be presenting to the marketplace once he's released. It's 7 years to think about that. Transformation. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have that much contrast. Okay. I'm not saying that you have to actually be a prisoner and have your life not working to that much of a degree for you to, make big gains. Although, how many of us walk around in our own prison? This is a line that I got from Star Wars Rogue One. Anybody ever seen that one? I enjoyed that. That was fun. So Rogue One, right? And then there's this guy who's like the captain of the resistance and all this. And he meets with this other guy who's kind of a seer. He can sense things, right? And anyway, the captain guy, because they were locked in a cell, right? And the captain guy said, "I've never been in a prison before." And the seer, the psychic guy or whatever, he said, "I think there's many kinds of prisons," and he was blind too; his eyes were always closed. But he says, "There's many kinds of prisons. I think you carry yours with you." Profundity, right? So yeah, you can get some good stuff even out of modern movies. They haven't destroyed them totally, but in that way, you can just look at yourself and see: am I applying the same operating strategy or the same level of thinking to this enterprise, to this effort that I'm putting in, as I've done to everything else, which may or may not have worked out? Now, look, something's been working for you. You've survived up to this point. Well done. You're not a corpse. That's great. But moving forward, can we raise the bar? I mean, if we're raising our expectations of what's possible and what we're going to accomplish, can we also not raise the bar for ourselves and work twice as hard on ourselves as we do on our business? I mean, unless you've already arrived or something, if you're, enlightened or whatever, probably not, or I'd see you levitating outside my office window, but okay. So let's work on ourselves, guys. And now we can meet and exceed those expectations, because who we become in the process isn't the same person. Yeah, you got the same name, you're still walking around in the same body. But now it's not just a hope or a wish. Those expectations are guaranteed future outcomes. Okay, however long it takes to get there, it takes to get there. In fact, it'll take less time because you won't be in your own way. And the number one thing that I've noticed about my own self and my career and my operating strategies and whatever is that I've gotten in my own way so many times. You all heard the saying, own worst enemy, right? Okay, good. And this is after having studied, philosophy for 35 years. Again, let's look at where we've been. Okay, not where we haven't gone yet, but let's look at where we've been. You guys wouldn't recognize me. Oh my goodness. I could show you some before shots. Before I got into, the teachings of personal development and applying them, not just consuming, but producing, right? Doing something, outflowing, creating, applying into my life. Here are the ideas that apparently these others found workable. Well, let's see if they work in my life, right? And then all of the business logistics kind of stuff, right? The designing of the cups and right? That becomes mundane, whatever, right? You can do that. Okay. But what gets in our way is all of our considerations about it. I didn't know this was going to turn into a philosophical conversation, although whenever you get me talking, that's typically always where it goes, right? Why? I always want to get to the why, right? I don't want to just treat effects and put Band-Aids here and there. Let's treat the cause. Why? Who's doing it? There's the question. Stephanie, I know you can do this. Yes, you can. Karen, you can definitely do this. Stu, Eddie, even you. Let's get Eddie out here. He's got his hand up. Hey, Eddie. I mean, if Eddie can do it, come on, right?
All right, John. Look, you as usual, you always bring a lot to the table. And I'm trying to find out what resonates the most, but the one that it really is the most important one you said is work on yourself is twice as much as you work on your business. Because I learned that from running a number of business over the years, and I heard John, he even had one of those hideous Hollywood laughs when he started talking about, oh, if you had seen me in the past, you know,
Yeah.
the cool that laugh they're using in some of these cartoons when they started doing the villainous voice. But yeah, your other self, that person that was always messing things up, and oh Lord, you'll try something and tumble over and say, oh crap to this and try something else. Those are all things that help you get to where you are. You got to cut through the crap. You know, you can't be afraid to get out there. And see, entrepreneurship is one of the most powerful, I won't even say noble things you can do, because when you do entrepreneurship, you're really helping the economy. You know, it's Earth Day right now. You're helping the earth. Now people go, oh, wait a minute, how is that? Well, let me throw you one. You know, I'm at Walmart and I always try to duck away from some of these people that be running their mouths. I'm hearing people hollering about the minimum wage. They should raise the minimum wage. Do you look, if anybody understands the economy, that won't fix the economy. You raise the minimum wage, guess what? Everything else goes up. You're thinking wrong. And in entrepreneurship, what's so good about it is the money you put into yourself and your business, you can write off on your taxes. The government allows that. Self-improvement, you can get that money back. You know, I had a business coach, I promise you, because I couldn't stand these faves anymore. He said, well, Eddie, and the coach said, you must get out of your own way. John said that. That's right. Get out of your own way. You are stepping on your own tongue. You tripping your own self up. You try to dribble the ball. There are no defenders out there. You are out there shooting basketball by yourself, practicing and failing. How's that? Because you are in your own way. You know, he talked about morning rituals. I have a morning ritual that helps me get up and be like you see I'm in right now. Every day I get up and love me, love whatever. If it's a storm outside, it's still a beautiful day. I'm serious. And we've had some good, it's too cold to be from South Carolina this time of year. It's still beautiful. Get out there. I said, oh, it's chilly out here. I'm so glad that I can feel this on my skin. Start your day out in a positive run. Then get into your business on a positive run. And the day will run beautifully. I'm serious. The bottom feeding stuff, leave that alone. Keep yourself up. Find out. Be consistent at loving you and your enterprise, and beautiful things will come your way. That's one of the reasons I come to these meetings. I'm being consistent with this right here. Because there's something, all you need is one good idea, and you just, oh, that's what I needed. And you realize it was handed to you. You know, Stephanie says she's here in one month. You know, and I'm looking at her name, Stephanie Abrams. Guess what? Stephanie means logical reasoning. That's what Stephanie means. And Abrams means exalted father. That's what her name means. Now, and she's freaking out. Well, wait a minute, this guy took my name and did something with it. Anything is an idea. But I just go and I say, that's exciting. And we just met. You know, and I like to do that with anybody, because entrepreneurship is giving something to people and they pay you money for it. So become a people person. Become a people person. This is not a slight. This is something great to be. I mean, John gets up here and throw these platitudes out here because he's read thousands of books and blah, 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 blah. I don't know how many he's read, but he's read a lot. I can tell. Listen to the language he has, but he's successful. That's why you listen to him. I mean, when a guy's talking about, I want this X number of dollars to get this down payment for this big, beautiful house I want. We're going, whoa. Somebody, I just got an apartment. He's thinking a nice house. The house I got now is nice, but I got this other house that I want to get. That's how you think when you know how to make money flow. Work on this right here. And this is how you run the universe with your mind. You become who you need to become to make your business the success you want it to be. I want to end it with that. And John, thank you for inspiring this in all of us. And more power to everybody.
Thanks, Eddie. I'll keep showing up. Thank you, sir. Good times. Good times. Stephanie, you got a hot mic. You didn't know this whole talk was going to be the Stephanie show, but do you have something you wanted to say?
Right now, I quit my job and I was working for Amazon. So that was something. It was stressful. And now I'm full-time trying to get all this in play. And I would say the most challenging thing that I'm experiencing is pretty much not the ideas, because I have so many ideas. And I drew on my first mug because I draw a lot. But I drew my first mug and I don't know, I guess it would just be challenging myself and trying to stick to the plan itself. That's what I'm really like beating myself up about. It's like, am I doing enough, or how many should I be getting out in a day? So I really don't know.
Okay. Where are you at in the accelerator program? Are you working with an accountability rep?
Yes, Diane.
Good. Good. Keep going through that. And we're going to do a business launch session with you. Okay. And yeah. And this is all, I mean, here's the thing. When you step up to the mountain, you don't see the whole mountain, right? You need to climb a little bit and you can see more and assess the scene more, on a gradient, right? And you're real new here. So you're going to do fine, Stephanie. Yeah, you're going to do good.
Thank you.
Awesome. Glad you're here. All right. I got to roll here pretty soon. Any burning desires, something anybody wants to say or ask before we wrap up? Otherwise you'll burst into flames or something. Burning desires, anybody? Shaquille, what's up, brother? Shaq, you got the floor. Hello.
Hey, John, I'm here. Hold on while I get a little bit more decent. But I just want to, oh man.
Are you naked?
Butt naked, dude.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm not actually, but look at me. I look like a monster. But I just want to say hi and also say thank you for always holding these meetings and for being here, because it during the past 3 days I've been sick and I haven't been participating in the meetings as usual, but I've been tuning in from a zombified state. And right now I'm super tired because I was part of a mastermind group earlier and I was completing a project for that leading up to it. But I just want to say that the topic that you talked about is pretty much like, it's like a Jim Rohn quote, right? Like to work on yourself twice as hard as you do on your business. And for me, I feel like that works out. I'm kind of a mess here, but I feel like that kind of works out because there's a quote, it's like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so when you kind of get yourself together, like I was just struggling to do, then everything else, so it should follow in suit, so to speak. And so as we continue to sharpen our steel here in these meetings every week, and continue to discuss different kinds of topics and just get our cups refilled in these meetings, then our businesses have more potential to kick more booty. But yeah, other than that, man, I'm wicked tired. I just wanted to say what's up and that I'm glad to at least be speaking on the meetings again. And that it looks like you got a haircut, John. Is that true?
I cut it like once a month, but I just showered, and so I got a little extra pomade in there, and I haven't been outside, so the Florida humidity hasn't gotten to it and turned it into like Jimi Hendrix, So yeah.
I like that one.
All right, brother. I got to roll. Sandra, you got a hot mic. Did you got something to say, Sandra?
I'm brand new. I'm completely brand new. I mean, I've been a member maybe 3 days. So this was wonderful to know that this community exists. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
Well, we're glad you're here, Sandra, ladies and gentlemen. There she is.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome. All right. Guys, I'm going to be back here with you tomorrow. And then, in the meantime, let's get some stuff done, right? Don't overthink it. Just get stuff done, right? And compartmentalize and be like, yep, that's done. There, right? Little wins. And we'll see you at the top. You guys